Hi, I'm Marky Mark.
And this is this week's music review.
Okay, on this week's podcast, we have Nick, who's a vocalist, and he performs in an 80s band, and he also performs in a Human League tribute. So first of all, thank you very much, Nick, for being on the podcast.
No problem at all.
Very good. We'll get my wires right. We'll start from the very beginning. When did you discover that you wanted to be a singer?
Well, I've always had a real keen interest in music, like a lot of people. And my brother, I come from a very musical family, and my dad was he was on stage when he was throughout sort of his teens and sort of up to he was sort of mid-20s, and my brother was a relatively successful singer during the 60s and 70s and part of the 80s. And when he retired from, because he's quite a bit older than me, sort of 17 years difference between us. And I used to go and watch him perform when I was growing up as a real young child, and followed his career really closely. And when he sort of retired, he went into management and sort of managing bands, and I sort of followed his bands around and stuff. And I was like, wow, I was fascinated with it all. And I thought maybe, one day I'd like to give this a go myself. And I'm a relatively newcomer to the live music scene, really. I mean, I've only been, sort of doing this for around about 10 years.
Yep.
And so it's been new and fresh, and I absolutely love it. I'm doing it sort of full time pretty much now, and don't regret it one bit.
So how old were you when you first started singing?
So I was around about 40. Let me check. I'm terrible, but 45. 45.
Well,
no, 44.
What, when you
44.
first started?
Yep.
Christ.
44 when I first started. Yeah, I know.
You were a late bloomer, weren't you?
Yeah, I was.
Blimey.
I mean, I did do a few things. I mean, when I was at school, I was in the sort of punk band for a while. That didn't really come to anything. And then, you sort of, I went away from music really for a while. You sort of out with the lads, drinking and doing all the things you do growing up. And I did have a little dabble a few times with a few mates, but it never came to anything. But yeah, I mean, I had it in the back of my mind. I want to try, try a band, get into a band, because I was always told, your voice don't sound too bad at all, and I thought, yeah, I'm going to give this a go. 10 years ago.
Christ. And it was that obviously, yeah, I didn't realise it was obviously as late as that. But did you? So your first gig or your first band or first solo, what was that doing?
Well, yeah. So basically, it was when my wife was carrying my son, and she was sort of like heavily pregnant, and I was like, wow. I had this just desire that I wanted to, give this a go, and I not good timing at all, really.
No,
but I put an ad out in a local music on a music site, and basically just looking for someone to do some duo work with. And this guy by the name of Gianni Cossu, Italian chap, contacted me. And he only lived a few miles away in Catesham. And I thought, this could be good. And he said he'd been playing for years. He come from Sardinia, and he said, he's come over for the music scene, and he's really dedicated and everything else. So we got together, and he had this flat in Catesham. We went round his place, got the guitar out, started doing a bit of jamming, and we just really connected straight away. He's an absolute brilliant guitarist, and he's a writer as well. and we sort of started playing some local pubs. We thought, well, let's give this a go. It was going really well. So we played the pub scene, and we've done about a dozen gigs, I guess. And we thought, I would like to maybe develop this into a band. So that's what we've done. We got hold of a guy, Andy Jones, on drums, who is actually in my present band at the moment.
Oh, the 80s one, Andy.
Great guy, Andy.
Yeah.
Who you know.
Yeah.
And man is a box of frogs. But, and a Bob, a guy named Bob. I don't know his surname now. Bob. All I knew, his nickname was Bobby Biscuit. We called him. And he was,
Bobby Biscuit.
Yeah, Bobby Biscuit. And we won't go into the reasons why.
No.
Yeah, but he was quite a biggish guy.
Oh, okay.
And, yeah, he had this farm in outskirts of an amazing place. He had this studio that we used to go to that he converted like one of the barns, and we were in there sort of practicing, every week, and we sort of we were pretty happy with the product after like, I don't know, 6-8 weeks, something like that, and we let's do it. Let's go out and gig, and that's what we've done. We recorded the Sublime, and we played sort of rock, pop, indie music, and that was really, really good fun. Really good fun.
Bit of music, a bit of everything then.
Bit of everything. Everything. Yeah. So anything from the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, Muse. It was a bit of everything, really. David Bowie, Roxy Music. There was a bit of everything thrown in there. And just a 4-piece band, bass, lead guitar, vocals, and drums.
So was that like a pub band, or did he do weddings and things like that?
No, we didn't really do the wedding circuit. I mean, we didn't play long enough to get into the weddings, really. We just done the local pub circuit, and we've done a couple of private functions as well. But yeah, to be honest with you, I sort of we were about a year together, and it was really strange because we were actually practicing in this studio, another studio actually, in Bristol, and next door there was some music going on, and I was on a little listen, and there was some 80s music coming next to follow the other room, and I thought, wow, that sounds great. And during our little break, I got chatting to a couple of the guys, and I said, well, I love the 80s, and they said, well, we're looking for a singer. So I said, well, I might be interested. So next thing you know, I'm having a practice with these guys, and that led on to my next band, which was called Sci-Fi 6. Crazy name, absolutely crazy.
Sci-Fi 6.
Sorry?
The Sci-Fi 6.
Sci-Fi 6, yeah.
That's the name, isn't it?
Yeah. I think the guy that thought it up was a bit of a, into the old space scene, and stuff, sci-fi stuff, but they were great lads, and absolutely. It was really strange because they were great lads, but we were always had sort of difference of opinion on what we were going to do, and and where we were going to go, and we lasted for about a year with that band, and I absolutely loved it because I love the 80s. And again, we've done the local circuit, we've done more functions as well, and basically after a year, our bass player was having a few problems outside of music, and he decided to part, and it all went sour after that. Once the bass player went, because he was the driving force behind the project, really. That came to an end, and it was a shame, really.
Yeah, unfortunately, these things happen, don't they? You know, one thing leads to another, and then the band ends up breaking
Yeah,
up. So yeah, it's not always good. But then obviously, because obviously you moved on to another 80s band, which you're in now.
that's right. Yeah.
Was that straight after, or was that further down the line, a few years down the line?
No, that was pretty much straight afterwards. It was funny because a chap by the name of Mark Stadden was we were auditioning with Sci-Fi 6 before we split for a guitarist stroke bass player, and Mark came along, and basically, he didn't get a chance to play any live gigs with Sci-Fi 6, but he when we split up, he said, "Would you like to do something with me? We'll try and get another 80s band up together." I said, "Well, yeah." I said, "If you can get the guys on board, you think you can get the right guys, I'm right up for that." So I didn't hear anything for about, I guess, 3-4 months, and then I get a phone call from Mark, and he said, "I think I found the right guys." And yeah, basically we got in the rehearsal studio, and I was absolutely blown away. It was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. They've been in, they're very sort of experienced musos, and it just clicked straight away. And basically, I've been going with that band now for about 8.5, 9 years now.
Is it?
About 8 years, I should say. 8.5 years.
Yeah.
And we're called Retro Electro. And yeah, as you know, because you've guested for us a few times. And yeah, we play all over the southwest really, and very, very well known around the local area. And we got a really good following.
Yeah, and is it just basically because obviously people listening, you're from the Bristol area, so is it just Bristol area that you actually do, or do you go further afield, or is it more case of being home?
Well, we play relatively close to Bristol, I've got to say, with this project. There's a few musicians in the band that don't really like traveling too much, so we've got an agreement. We'll do a little bit outside. I mean, we've done a few gigs in the Midlands and some stuff over in Wales, and sort of, I guess, we've done some stuff in London as well. But the majority of our work is sort of, Bristol, Somerset, Wiltshire,
Southwest,
Southwest. Yeah. But we're still going strong now, and we play all the 80s synth pop music. Your Duran Durans and the Depeche Mode and Simple Minds. All that sort of stuff really, and everybody seems to love it.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, 80s is very big at the moment. As we keep panning, me and Rich, when we do the music review podcast, we're always going on about even today's artists now are all doing. If you listen to the new songs now, they've all got 80s in it, either the synth or the drum. It's very much back in at the moment.
Yeah,
and 80s has been very popular now for a long time. But it's got some serious big hits in it, which has stood the test of time, and I think that's why the 80s,
definitely,
is still popular. And then obviously, when you do an 80s gig, 9 times out of 10, it's more or less nearly full or sold out, isn't it? Because it's so popular.
It is. Yeah. I mean, I'm absolutely amazed that when we do play these shows, there's all sorts of ages there. From sort of 70-year-olds to 18-year-olds, and they all love it. It's quite refreshing, really.
Yeah, because some of the songs, the popular singy songs, like a Bon Jovi, whatever, or Duran, there's still people the parents listen to them and the children listen to them, and then they end up, liking that particular band because the songs don't sound old, do they? They don't sound retro, like stuff from the 50s or the 40s. They still, some of them sound still good today. So I think that's what's helped, really. Yeah. So.
Definitely. I mean, a lot. The music now, even stuff in the charts now, and there's a lot of 80s vibe, connected to their music, isn't there? You listen to the songs out there.
Yep. I mean, the greatest example is what we keep referring to is The Weeknd just brought out a song called Blinding Lights about 4 or 5 weeks ago. That's just total 80s with the synth, and it went to number 1 in the UK charts. So it just shows that it's really coming back in. Even Lady Gaga, a single just recently, that sounds all 80s. So
exactly,
that sounds coming back in.
Yeah. But I it's a big passion of mine, as you know, the 80s. I mean, I love the 80s vibe, and it's in my blood.
Yeah. 80s is still my favorite era. So we've done the 80s with the band, and obviously now you've decided to carry on the 80s theme in the Human League tribute that you're in now. So tell us about that. When did it start? How many years ago did that start?
Yeah, that's my sort of that's a project that I've been basically ongoing since 2017. And it's really funny how it came about, really. I mean, I hadn't thought at all to do a Human League tribute, and basically I get a phone call from the promoter of the Fleece, by the name of Mark Court, and I know him through obviously my band playing at the Fleece, which is one of the best sort of venues in the Bristol area, if not the best for live bands, I would, in my opinion. And it's got great tradition, and it always gets a good following there. He rings me and he says, Nick, would you be able to help us out? I said, well, what's that then, Mark? He said, well, we've had a tribute band pull out on us, a Spandau Ballet tribute. Basically, they're disbanding, and we've got a Duran Duran tribute, and wondered if you would like to fill that slot. I said, yeah, okay. What have you got in mind? He said, well, when I came to see you recently, he said, I just couldn't believe how much you sounded like Phil Oakey in the Human League. I went, right, okay. He said, would you like to put a Human League tribute together and fill the slot? So I said, blimey, that's a bit of an unusual request. I said, yeah, I'd love to. I said, but how long have we got? So he said, we got 6 weeks. 6 weeks to get it together. And I said, well, I'll have a go, mate. I said, if I can find the right musicians, we think we can do it, why not? So, I looked around, and basically I've got a bass player from Retro Electro. He also plays lead guitar, as you know, and keyboards. Yep. I brought him along. Russ Harvey, absolutely tremendous musician, great guy. So he plays now, with the Love Distraction, my tribute to the Human League. Nick Stanidis, which a very, very good keyboard player, a pianist that I played with in previous projects. He's come along and filled one of the slots, and then we managed to get 2 local Bristol girls who are absolutely amazing singers, Ruth and Michaela, and that was the lineup, and we got it together. 6 weeks later, we done the show with this Depeche Mode tribute, and it worked out really, really well, and played to a sort of sellout audience, and yeah, the rest is history, we might say with that, and we've been going ever since. You know, August 2017, and playing all over the UK. And you know, I'm playing venues that I can only really dream about. You know, it sort of happens sort of really quickly. Within the first sort of 12 months, we were playing some really nice places, and I'm absolutely loving it.
Yeah, it's good. So it's obviously you were chucked in the deep end, weren't you? Really? 6 weeks. That's a lot to sort out, isn't it? In 6 weeks.
It was. I mean, I really did think that we were going to pull it off. But
how many songs? How many? When you said to you got 6 weeks, how many of those songs did you actually know?
Well, yeah, good question. That I knew about, I guess, quarter of the set, maybe a few more, maybe about. About 8 songs, something like that. I knew.
What, all the lyrics as well?
Not all of them. Not all of them. Yeah, but I did know. I mean, I did like the Human League. You know, from the moment, you know,
helps
from day one. Yeah, so that did help. And so yeah, I did know some of the songs, but I didn't know all the. I mean, I knew a lot of the songs, but I didn't know all the words to them. So, you know, I did have a head start now.
Yeah. Okay. Oh God, yeah, it must have been sweating bullets on the night.
Yeah, it was really funny actually. I mean, you know, I don't really get too nervous, to be honest with you, when I go on stage. Not usually.
No.
And so it was. Yeah, it wasn't too bad really. I mean, I would say probably our second show was more nerve-wracking. We played Butlins at Skegness in front of I don't know what the audience is, about 3,000 people. About 3 weeks later, and that was scary. That was absolutely scary. I mean, before we went on stage, the band on before us was it was Tony Hadley, and I was watching him, watching him at the front in the audience. I was like, wow, we are going on that stage in a bit. And that I did. I was very, very nervous, I got to say, playing that show. But again, we pulled it off, and you know, went down really well. So
yeah. I mean, Butlins, when you go there for the first time, it can be quite nerve-wracking because obviously it's a proper full stage with a proper professional crew, and obviously the venues hold 3.5 to 5,000 in one room, and obviously they're all looking at you and hoping that you're not crap, basically.
Yeah.
So yeah. So go on.
I was going to say, it's so funny because, like, before the curtain, I mean, obviously you've played it enough times, you know yourself what it's like. We're and the Skegness crowd, I would say, is probably the most liveliest out of the Butlins, venues, and we're there and just getting our gear on ready to go, and you got the same technicians running about, and I looked at Russ. He looked at. I said, "You all right, Russ?" He went, "No, I'm not. I'm fucking bricking it." I said, "Oh, you'll be all right. You'll be all right, mate. Don't worry. But deep down, I'm fucking bricking it as much as him, you know."
Yeah. That's the problem. You see, when you're at the front, like ourselves, you're the one, unfortunately, that everybody stares at. So if you cock it up, then it ruins everything, because the band sort of at the back, although okay, they're nervous, but obviously, as it always seems to be, is the crowd are always looking at the singer. They're not going to stare at the drummer right at the back, are they? They look at the person who's singing. So we've got to make a an entrance and not cock it up. The best you can without your nerves or anything getting in the way, and especially obviously when you go out to Butlins.
Yep.
And you see all those people, you're thinking, right, here we go, and you just you just hope that you don't make a mistake.
It was so funny, yeah. I'm just thinking now as you're talking that the curtain came up. We went into the first song, and I remember someone hung onto my leg, right, onto my trousers. A woman hung onto my
what?
trousers. And
While you're on the stage?
Yeah, I'm trying to get away from her. I'm like, what are you doing, you lunatic?
How the hell did she reach? Do they not have the barriers then?
Well, it was. I can't remember now. I think.
Hello.
On stage.
Oh, you're still there, Nick? Oh, sorry, I was losing you then.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. No, I mean, with Skegness, as I say, I think the barriers are quite close, so
yes,
they can actually reach you. And
yeah, they can.
I thought,
yeah.
wow. I thought, what is this all about?
Oh, no. There is some utter crazy people. I mean, that I've never had any trouble apart from, I think it was last year, some idiot bloke decided to squirt us with a squirt gun jet thing, and he was thinking. And I thought, what's that water coming from? I thought, okay, perhaps something's going on. And then obviously he started squirting. So and then I saw the security guy, because there was 2 securities either side of the stage, and I looked at him and pointed. I've never seen him. They utterly ran across, grabbed him, and he disappeared. And I never thought anything of it, because obviously it was back to it. And then they came over and said, "Oh, we're really sorry. He did that." And I said, "Well, I said, yeah, it's not good, but I said I was obviously worried about, hitting the instruments, the keyboards and stuff like that."
Yeah.
And they said to me later that he was, he had to go and basically pack his bags and leave immediately.
Oh, yeah. I know. The thing is, they get so drunk. That's the problem.
Oh, yeah, they do. Yeah, there's zero tolerance, isn't it? I think, for it if they go too far.
Yeah. I mean, most of the time we've played those. They've been great. No problems at all. But you're always going to get. You're always going to get the odd one. But with your first show there, and someone's grabbed the first song, someone's grabbing onto your leg, you're like, wow, this is sort of a bit unnerving. What's this all about?
It can be. Yeah. For next year and onwards, what is your aim? What is it? Where do you want to go?
I mean, basically, my favourite band of all time is Depeche Mode, and I've always followed them around, seen them all over the place, and I basically got a Depeche Mode tribute up together. I mean, and so we're very, very close to performing. We've got some gigs in the diary that we're going to be unleashing. We should have played last week, our first show at the Fleece, but obviously that was pulled. So that's now been put back to September. But we have got we've got a tour up in Scotland, a little mini tour, Edinburgh, Dundee, Glasgow. I think that's in September now. They've all been juggled around, obviously, with the coronavirus. Putting everything on hold. So we're trying to just juggle all these dates around, and obviously with me being in retro electro, Love Distraction, and now with the Depeche Mode tribute, it's quite tricky getting the getting the dates sorted for it all, really. But my aim for next year is to get that project firmly established, because I'm going to be absolutely buzzing you know, performing that music alongside my other projects. So yeah, that's my aim really and to carry on obviously with Love Distraction the way we're going. You know, carry on playing sort of places we've been playing and enjoying myself like I've been doing so. And Retro Electro, you know, it's a long project. You know, we've been going a long time compared to the other project, and you know, I'm still enjoying it, but that is taking a little bit sort of a back seat for a while for me to, you know, to sort of concentrate on getting the Depeche Mode tribute established. But you know, I still enjoy immensely playing with Retro Electro, and you know that will continue. And you know, I still want to still play, you know, with them because they're great guys, and I love the 80s music.
Yeah. You know, hopefully, hopefully, you know, things will pan out and you'll have a very busy 2021, because I think most of us now are all scrapping this year to wait, obviously, because it's going to, you know, obviously you're only going to get half a year, maybe even less now, of gigs, you know, so, and then obviously then you're looking at 2021, because I remember when they were saying about the lockdown, I was thinking, oh, don't do that, don't do the lockdown, because I was thinking I'm gonna lose everything, all my DJ gigs, music, everything, and I was getting really stressed about it. And then as soon as he said it, then it seemed a weight seemed to come off my shoulders, thinking, well, okay, well, they've decided to lock us down, so now I actually, you know, and you just then you know you can't do anything because it's up and down, isn't it? You didn't know what they were going to do. So now we're stuck in it. At least we know. Now everyone's going, right, when they're going to lift it now? When they're going to...
Oh, yeah, I think it's going to be a while yet, isn't it? I mean, you know, they're saying maybe sort of May, June, but I mean...
Well, they're not on about gatherings now, are they, till July now?
That's it. I mean, and this year for me was the best diary that I've had, you know, since I've been out playing, and I was so sort of you know, looking forward to playing, you know, some of the places we were booked in. But you know, luckily we've got quite a few that have rebooked us, which I'm really pleased about. But we have lost some really nice festivals, unfortunately, and some nice ticket events. But yeah, I mean, more important fish to fry, I guess, than our music at the moment. We've just got to sit at home and keep learning songs. I mean, that's what I'm doing. I don't know about you, Mark. Are you having a chance to learn any music yourself, or new stuff?
Yeah. So basically, we have now released. I've released my first ever UK chart single song, which comes out
Brilliant
on the 20th of April. So it's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and I finally got round to doing it, and obviously now I've got all the spare time, and so you know, I'm looking forward to seeing how that goes, and then obviously with all the other stuff, you know, the other stuff that I do. So you know, it keeps me busy. You know, it's going to be manic. I think once the gates do open and everyone can go back to normality again, it's going to be very busy again. Because I'm not doing half the work I usually do, because there's no point, because you can't. Because no one's open, so
no, I know. The thing is, I mean, I found the way to sort of keep my mind off things is try and concentrate on my music. It hasn't been easy, I've got to say, but you know, I've sort of, you know, the last couple of weeks I've sort of been trying to learn some new songs for the Human League tribute, and finishing off the Depeche Mode songs, making sure I've got all them learned, and now, you know, sort of concentrating on learning the moves, Dave Gahan moves, which, you know, is quite sort of full on. So that's what I'm doing at the moment. So that's enough to keep me preoccupied, but it is quite tough. I mean, to get that enthusiasm, with what's going on at the moment, we don't know whether we're coming or going with it all, and it's obviously quite sort of worrying times. But music, I find, I don't know if you find, it does take you away from everything. If you can, put a few songs on, it definitely helps with your moods.
Oh, it does. I mean, certainly. Obviously, doing the interviews on the podcast and doing our music reviews and then other music, making music. It's definitely my time is it's kept me very busy, and
Sure.
and obviously having a 3-year-old son keeps me very busy.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of daddy time. So I mean, as I say, once it all goes back to normal, then it'll be it'd be quite good. I think it'll be quite weird at first because you're so used to being at home, and then all of a sudden you're allowed to drive up and down the country again. So
I know. It's like it's going to take a while, I think, for people to get their confidence into going out. I think to actually start going to venues, and
I mean, some of the venues, obviously, with some bands have got booked, whether it's your band or whatever other band, then venues might not even be there because they might end up going bust because they financially just can't afford to keep going. I mean, there must be a lot of venues who are in the deep mess at the moment because basically they have no income coming in, and they're not. I think it's June, isn't it? The payout starts coming, so, and obviously for some people that's too late.
I know.
So
I know. It's worrying. It is. It is really, really worrying. I mean, I can think of a few venues off the top of my head now that I'm thinking, wow, are they still going to be going? And I just hope they will be. So
we've seen some venues that are already asking for help, donations and stuff like that, and I was thinking, well,
sure,
I can appreciate that they're asking for it, but the problem is that people's pockets, are all tight. So especially for musicians, because they're all self-employed, and obviously now none of them are being paid. So
no.
it's very, although you may want to help venues, but sometimes you just can't help them because you financially have no money yourself because you're not earning any money yourself. So
that's right. That's right.
It's all swings and roundabouts. So you just have to see that hopefully they'll some of them will, hopefully all of them will survive. Because even they were saying about the theatres, but. It's only been what 3, 4, 4. Is it 4 weeks since
4 weeks? Yeah,
since they shut the venue. So it's not an awful long time. And so if they do, but the problem is, as I said, they're not on about not opening now, are they? Till maybe till June or July before they'll open them to have gatherings. So that means that they could be shut for 3 months in total, which is huge money loss.
Yeah. So, I think if it does go that long, then which, like you say, is a very good chance it will. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of closures, and it'll be very, very sad. But I guess it's one of those things we just got to ride it and see if we can come out the other side.
Yeah. I mean, it's difficult for anybody, but these things happen, and things get shut down, or you think you feel sorry for them, but it's just there's nothing you can do. It's just you just hope that they've got enough money in the bank to survive, and obviously when the government do pay them out, that they then they're all right. So we'll just have to see, but right. Well. Yeah. We'll wrap it up there, Nick. So
okay.
But thank you very much for coming on the podcast and going through everything.
No problem at all, Mark. Yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Good. And we look forward to seeing how you get on later on in the year and into next year.
Okay, thank you very much. And yeah, that's lovely.
Thanks.
All right, cheers.